haven't heard already, Forza Horizon 4 is getting delisted just like it has predecessors and cousin games from Forza Motorsports. So I want to go into a little bit of detail on why this is happening, and the short answer is the end of the license agreements has come, and they're not allowed to use the cars or the music anymore, and obviously there's a little fluctuation on when those end, but overall they have to delist it due to that. And sometimes those license agreements can get really expensive, so they have to make a temporary game. And I may think, oh, is this gonna shut down? Is this gonna shut down my game forever and I'm not gonna be able to play it anymore? And I have good news. If you don't already know this, you can always buy it on disc and still play it on like Xbox or PlayStation. I actually have no clue if Nintendo opted. I doubt it though. But if you already own it on Steam like I do, then you can keep playing it. So just this past summer sale, they had it down. They had the Ultimate Edition, which is usually $100, for $20. So I bought that immediately because it was getting delisted and I really wanted it. And I recommend you get at least the standard edition. If it goes on sale before then, get the Ultimate Edition for sure. But I would still want to go a little bit deeper into why this happens and how it compares to other games. So, when is Forza Horizon 4 being delisted? Starting June 25th, 2024, Forza Horizon 4's DLC will be delisted from all platforms. So that has already come, and the DLCs apparently are gone. So only the Forza Horizon 4 Standard, Deluxe, and Ultimate Editions will be available for purchase, yada yada yada. So you get it. You only can get the DLCs if you buy the version. You can't buy the packs or DLCs separately. There's a list here, and I'll have this link down in the description so that you can read it a little bit yourself. Here, I was talking about this earlier. Will I still be able to play Forza Horizon 4 even after it gets delisted? Yes. You can say yes, including multiplayer and online functions. And you can keep reading. This is, by the way, from Forza's official website. So sadly, along with it being delisted, Forza Horizon 4 will no longer be on the Xbox Game Pass at the same time that it is being delisted. So down here we have the official release from Forza Horizon. So due to licensing and agreements with our partners, Forza Horizon 4 will be delisted from digital platforms on December 15th. This means the game and its additional content will no longer be available for purchases through online stores. So you can still get it through disc, as I said before, for Xbox or PlayStation. That's a short answer from them, and I'll have this down in the description as well. Some games like Assetto Corsa play for a permanent or very long-term licensing agreements. That's why they aren't being delisted, and I don't really know how much that costs. But if this gets lots of likes, lots of views, I'll do a second part and I'll go even more in depth. So a game developer company like Kunos, who makes Assetto Corsa, they basically just have to ask. If you do a quick Reddit search, you can figure this out. Some companies like EA have an exclusive agreement with Porsche, which is why Assetto Corsa doesn't actually have the Porsche brand, but instead it has the RUF, or RUF, however you say it. But Kunos has long-standing relationships with Ferrari and Lotus, so it really depends on the car brand and what these game developers have for past agreements and just general relationships with it. Like Forza Motorsport had 4 years of licensing, but we had Forza Horizon 4. This was released in 2021. It is 2024 now, and this happened right at the beginning of 2021 and it's getting delisted at the very end of 2024. So it's almost 4 years. So it seems to be that Forza really likes paying for 4-year contracts on this. So I was curious about how much this sort of thing costs. I couldn't find any sort of official releases immediately, so I just kind of went to Quora, which is something like Reddit. I'm not very familiar with it. It says here, depending on which cars you want, back in 2004, Lamborghini asked for $400,000 to allow a gaming company to use their cars. Gran Turismo 2 had no Porsches because the cars were exclusively licensed to another game. Now we're gonna assume that was EA because, you know, there we go. Unless your company has deep pockets, forget about it. Well, even if your company has deep pockets, why not take a huge risk? Look at GTA 5, you see big car names in there. If the game is well made and the car looks cool, nobody cares if it's Ferrari or made of Ferrari. That can be true, but if you have like really dedicated fan base to the games who like the on-brand cars, that might not always work out. Now for a game like GTA 5, it's not a car game. So why would you pay for that price when you're not even making a game about cars? Cars are in the game just like they are in real life. That's the whole idea. But it's not a car game like Assetto Corsa or Forza is. However, games like BeamNG, which is a game about cars specifically, has no problem at all making up their own cars and having their very dedicated fan base of modders to make custom cars all the time and then upload them to mods for people to download. And a lot of the times that those modders will work together with devs and make cars. And BeamNG has a very unique, special community of modders and people who like making cars, and that's a very special game. That's something Forza doesn't have, which is why they have to pay for all these licensing agreements, because it's dedicated to the brands. That's why people buy it usually, and they just don't pay for an eternal licensing agreement. Which is a shame for people who want to buy the game later, as Forza Horizon 4 is arguably one of the best Forza games along with Forza Horizon 3. And people aren't going to be able to buy this game, at least online, and they'll have to rely on disc games. And the sad thing is, a lot of consoles are moving away from the disc drive, and slowly the disc game versions will become more and more expensive. And you'll have something like trying to buy Forza Horizon 1 or an older game on disc, which is going to cost much more than the original price. So if you know more about this than I do, which I'm certain most of you do, please comment down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. But other than that, I will see you in the next video, and bye Forza Horizon 4.